When I'm 12, 13, my dad tells me that my great-grandfather helped found this YMCA camp in Wisconsin, and as one of his line, I am expected to attend. By the 1970s, this camp evolved into this kind of outward bound / summer school kind of hybrid. As you grow up, the camping trips get longer and farther afield, and to everyone's surprise, including mine, I take to it like a fish to water. Not the craft shop or capture the flag stuff, but the camping. Only in my case, it's like this miss it when I'm gone, hate it when I'm there. Because every camping trip has those days when it's 50 degrees and raining. Days when you are up to your waist in mud, and you know it's gonna be a while before that comes off. Every summer I get to that day, and I think, why? Why did I do this to myself? At 15, my dad tells me, okay, that's enough. I didn't like Granddad anyway. It's time for you to get a summer job. Go work at McDonald's. It'll teach you hard work and drudgery and teamwork and responsibility, all these parenty kind of things. And I do not buy it. I tell him, when I drag myself over hundreds of miles and all of our gear, that teaches me hard work and drudgery, so much drudgery. It takes two to make a canoe go. And when we are 100 miles from the nearest town, we are literally responsible for each other's lives. And we take that seriously. This fight goes on for years. At 17, the trip that year is supposed to be canoeing 450 miles across the Northwest Territories. They drop us on Knowlton Lake, mid-July. The ice had just broken up the week before. There are still icebergs in the water. The sun sets at 1, and you can watch the sunset go over the North Pole and come up on the east side at 4 a.m. And there are no trees. Like little scrub things like yay high, and that's it. And with no trees, there is nothing to stop the wind. Gale force winds, 40, 50 miles an hour, they whip up at the drop of a hat, and they last a week. We find that out the hard way. A couple days into our trip, one of these storms whips up, and we are forced to hide behind this little hill. We set up our tents, we put all our stuff in it. We go back to finish unloading the canoes. It's just a couple minutes, I turn around, and one of our tents is hanging by the last shock cord in the air with all our stuff in it. So we have to bring them down and pitch them right next to the water. And for 4 days, we are shivering in our sleeping bags, looking at the same 4 faces 6 inches away. And I have to be honest, I cannot take the togetherness. I get a little stir crazy. One day, I just walk up that hill into the storm just to see what's on the other side. And I find this giant granite boulder. And I sit down. It's overlooking this little pond. And down below, I see these 2 Arctic terns bobbing for food in this little pond. And I have no idea what they can eat out of a glacial pothole. But all of a sudden, one of these terns banks 90 degrees and comes shooting up the hill, ground level, right at me. This bird's got like a 2-foot wingspan. It's white and light gray. It's very sleek. It's like the sports car of pigeons. Our eyes lock, and I think this bird is attacking me. A few feet in front of my face, it throws its wings out wide, and it shoots straight up into the storm. And then it's windsurfing 2 feet over my head. And I can hear the wind ripping through every single feather. And it is hanging on for dear life. It's all it can do. And it's there for like 30 seconds. And then it wheels off, goes back down the hill. And I think, that's once in a lifetime. A couple minutes later, the other tern does the same thing. Up the hill, in my face, over my head, and then back down. They do this for like an hour. I brought my camera, I lie back on the boulder, and I take a whole roll of film taking pictures of these birds windsurfing over my head. And then they just fly away. And I search around this boulder, I'm looking for a nest, something, anything to explain why they would do that. I don't find it. I think maybe they just want to see what's on the other side. I go back to camp, and everybody's still shivering in the tents. And I try to explain this. I try to tell this story. But I'm 17, I don't have the words. I can't get across that feeling of peace, that sense of being touched by something rare. I get home, I take that roll of film to be developed, and it's blank. The leader hadn't caught. And at first I'm hurt, and then I wonder, could I have caught that feeling in pictures? I know I couldn't get it from McDonald's. You see, that moment brought it all together for me. I realized you don't get to that experience without going through the wind and the rain and the mud. And the next year I go back, but this time I know why. Thank you.